Happy hump day to you. Happy Wednesday to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Heart of Christ Ministry. I'm your host, Reverend Shaun Robert Grant. What an exciting day it is. Another day I get to do what I feel I have been called to do. And that is something special. Anyway, got a great, more or less an informative message today, in the sense that, everything we do here is something that is geared towards allowing you to be able to use it right now. Now, what tends to happen oftentimes is that the idea may not resonate as soon as expected, but once it does, you can take a lot of the stuff that I've been teaching and being a vessel for, and implement it into your life right away. Now, this message today, it's basically what you see is what you get. And I'm gonna go through some things here to really kind of instruct you on what to look for and where you could be going wrong, but there's no such thing as going wrong. It's just a matter of being in a position to observe what's happening and keep that in mind, because observing is going to be the most important part of this entire process in this episode, in your life in general. Okay. Because today it just kind of comes down to understanding, the power of thoughts. And when I say thought, I'm not just talking about, just popping up with any kind of thought. I'm talking about your thoughts. You're stepping into the divine mind and embracing thought within the divine mind. Okay. And so before I get into the bullet points, let's talk a little bit about that. So what does that entail? What does that mean? Stepping into the divine mind, embracing, the power of thought. So the divine mind, much like divine perfection and divine truth that we talked about a couple of days ago, is the original perfected state of God, right? And so when you understand that only things of originality, of perfection, can enter into the divine mind, which is inside of you, right? You have the divine mind. You are. Everything around us is the divine mind. It allows you to be able to police those thoughts that might necessarily not belong there, so to speak. And what I mean by that is thoughts that don't serve your continued alignment with love. You don't have to get into a fight or anything like that with bad thoughts, because they happen, especially when you're processing emotions, man. When you're going through a big stage of forgiveness and you're releasing stuff and letting it go, and you're really just kind of getting rid of your baggage, you're going to experience some thoughts that you're like, well, who just thought that up? Like, where did that come from? Right. But it's not a question of getting hung up on those thoughts. It's a matter of being Zen-like and letting those pass. But more or less, when a thought shows up to make you feel good, and you know how it makes you feel, because, much like me, you may have a situation where your hair stands up on your skin or you get goosebumps or something like that. That's an indication that a thought just raised your vibration, right? And so for me, I always pay attention. What thoughts are spiking my vibration? Right. And usually because I'm so inclined to the divine, it's usually those thoughts that really raise me up to an entirely new level, or anything I can do to start laughing and having a good time. That takes me to a higher level as well. Right. In addition to smiling, that's a high vibrational tactic. But so what we want to do today is just kind of lead you down that path to where by the time this episode is done, you can embrace the thoughts that are going to help you continually raise yourself to a higher consciousness and to operate within the divine mind, and sort of not really being tied to those ones that don't, right? Because, the truth of the matter is thought is creation, right? Your thoughts determine your life, right? And it's not as sophisticated of a process as you would think, but it's actually relatively easy. So let's get into it, starting off. And so I created some bullet points because, I want your wheels to really start turning about this stuff. And so, we're going to start off with, how can you tell what thoughts you're thinking? And this, simply put, look at your life, right? What is the overriding theme of your life? And so, by all means, write this down, because when you do the work on this, you're more able and apt to change it, right? So if I look at my life, what do I see? Do I see freedom, or do I see struggle, right? Do I see lack, or do I see abundance? Do I see good relationships or dysfunctional relationships? Do I see ease, peace, comfort, joy? Or do I see disappointment, disgust, sadness? And so here's the thing. We don't get to the place of judging those thoughts. We understand that if it's anything that's not coming from a divine mind perspective, we let those go. And matter of fact, you don't even have to do anything in your power to let things go. Let's just say right here is lack, struggle, disappointment, defeat. And right here is love, peace, happiness, joy, abundance. Take your attention from here and put it there and hold it on there, right? And what you'll find is that energy goes where attention flows, right? And then the thunder comes right as soon as I say that. So that just that shows you that it's right. But all I'm saying is, take an inventory. How can you tell what thoughts you're thinking? And you just look at your life. And if your life is not where you want it to be, then guess what? You got to change your thoughts. Now, just to make sure that there's no confusion or anything like that, you can't just change your life with the thought like, I am rich. I am wealthy. I am loved. That's great. But in order for thought to work, thought has to have that fuel in it, that gasoline that we're going to get to here in just a bit. But before that, I want to go into number 2. Okay. So you see, we'll come back to that, because that's kind of how we're going to wrap it up. And you may know it already, but I want to extrapolate further on it. But you can tell what thoughts you're thinking by what and how your life looks, right? If your life looks the way that you want it, you're thinking the right thoughts that are in alignment with who you choose to be. If you're running into issues, then you are unconsciously putting down and putting stuff out to the universe that's coming back as what you see unfolding. Okay. And it's not a case of right or wrong. It's just like, okay, do I like what I see? Do I hate what I see? Right? What am I going to do about it? Plain and simple right there. Okay. Next thing, pretty simple. Choosing thoughts that work for you. Right. So we did Philippians 4 verse 8 a couple days in a row. And that's one of my favorite scriptures, because it basically gives you the secret, right? It gives you the secret in letting you know that whatsoever things are true, of a good rapport, are praiseworthy, are excellent, think on these things. It gives it straight to you. You're right to you. It tells you. It doesn't say whatever things make you stressed out, whatever things make you want to go and choke somebody. It doesn't say that. It says whatever things are true, of good rapport, are praiseworthy, think on these things, right? And so once we do that, once we follow that to a T, we will begin to see the pattern of that thought form show up in our lives. And it always starts, when you think good thoughts, it usually always starts with feeling good on the inside, right? But there's a trick to that also. Your emotions, the dominant emotions you're carrying, are going to affect your thoughts as well. This is why forgiveness, I think, over the last 10 years or so has been huge, right? A lot of people didn't talk about forgiveness. It was all about abundance, manifestation, law of attraction, but you can't manifest anything, of high value if you're not forgiving, you know, things from the past, people from the past, forgiving yourself. So it's important to know that forgiveness is just as important, but you know, those emotions can affect what comes into your mind. So you want to carry dominant, high vibrational emotions all the time: peace, love, compassion, truth. Have them resonating all the time within you, because that's going to keep your thoughts up there. Okay. But when we're choosing the thoughts that work for us, once again, the first thing we got to do is see which ones aren't working for us. Right. So if I go to my bank account and I look at my bank account and all of a sudden I get pissed off, right? That's not going to work. I can give you something right now that would help you to expand your income, expand the amount of money coming into your life. If you went to your account and you made a promise to yourself that you were going to see, you were going to be grateful for whatever it is you saw there, your income would grow. Why? Because you're surrounding it in gratitude. If you decided that every time you went to your account, and it just doesn't work with money, it works with everything. Let's say you're going to your in-laws, or you're going to your parents, your friend's house, or, if you're going to work and you made it up in your mind that, you know what, I'm just going to be grateful for this experience, it would absolutely transform in the most epic way possible for you. Anything, any area, insert gratitude. Gratitude is the place to start, especially if you're having problems or issues with thinking stuff that correlates to the life you want to live, So you gotta really begin to choose thoughts. And so one thing I don't want to have you confused about is that we think so many thoughts throughout the day, right? We have so many thoughts coming through our minds. We have so many thoughts popping up in our heads. It doesn't have to be you policing all these thoughts. The thoughts we want to get rid of are the ones we hook up onto and then we mull over and over and over and over and over and over, right? And I'm telling you, until you understand a true concept of abundance, and I use a lot of like financial, relations, because I've studied that for so much, and I know until you've come across a point where you truly understand abundance, there's times where you begin to think that you're going to go broke every time, you use money, every time you circulate money out into the economy, until you discover that money is there to continually flow back into your life as you use it. It can seem like that you're going to give away all your money and you're going to be living on the street, right? That's a thought. That's a thought that over time begins to create an emotion. And when it creates an emotion, that's when the power comes behind it, right? That's when the power comes behind it. That's when it really starts to manifest into the body. And if it starts to manifest into the body, I'm telling you, it's going to start manifesting into the experiences, right? So we don't want to put ourselves into places where we're infusing, fear and doubt and lack and all these lower vibrational emotions like shame and guilt. Like, this is why it's so important not even to look for the approval to anybody, because approval seeking always ends up in guilt, always ends up in shame, always ends up in you feeling lackluster and lackful, right? We want to go the opposite of that, right? We want to choose gratitude, because guess what? No matter what state you're in, you choose gratitude, gratitude can pull you out, right? So choose thoughts that work for you, thoughts of gratitude. Simply put, thank you. All you gotta say is thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you is all you have to say about everything that comes into your experience. I accept this. Thank you. Right? And feel it. And even if you don't feel it to begin with, you'll start to feel it. Because guess what? Your life's going to change if you start saying thank you to everything. I promise you. I've seen it happen in my own life. Thank you is so powerful, especially when it seems like your mind is your own worst enemy. Okay, so we're moving on. Choose the thoughts that work for you, right? One more thing here. If you really want to drive this point home, take out a pen and paper, take out a notebook, go buy a notebook. You can get a notebook for $1 nowadays, with school supplies and stuff like that. And it can be 10, 20, 30, 100 times. I used to like to do this 100 times because I really wanted to embed it within my consciousness. I would find a short statement of truth, not necessarily an affirmation, but a short statement of truth. And I would write it down before bed 100 times. 100 times I would write it down. So by the time I was done and went to bed, that was embedded, because my conscious mind is slowing down by the time I'm getting ready to go to sleep. So I can infuse it with the ideas that I choosing the thoughts that work for me. That's one of the best times is when you're getting ready to go to bed, to infuse yourself with a thought that can marinate the entire night within your subconscious. And then you start to see evidence of that thought show up in your life. That easy, that simple. You just got to be disciplined enough to take the time to make sure that you're choosing, because if you don't choose your thoughts, they're going to be chosen for you, right? We're all connected, and we don't just show up, right? And be a part of this one love, this one concept, this one universe, and not be affected by the thoughts of other people. It's a matter of letting those go and understanding, okay, what thoughts are mine, right? What thoughts represent me? What thoughts allow me to be in alignment with source, to be in alignment with love, to be in alignment with my true self? Choose those from there. All right. Number 3, giving your thoughts power to manifest in your life. So I was talking earlier. Okay. And I wanted to save this for last because this is super, 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 super important. And I emphasize super because once you understand this, like, you can change things, or you can transform things when you truly understand what I'm about to tell you. So, a lot of stuff, when the idea of law of attraction, manifestation, creating your own life, a lot of stuff was left out, right? A lot of stuff was left out because it was almost as if we were made to believe like we could think a thought and presto, something pops out like magic and unfolds. But there was a process that has to take place if the thoughts you desire or the thoughts you align with are going to manifest in your life as circumstances. So a bit of quantum physics here for you right now. Matter, which is the physicality, the stuff you see around you, the stuff that you perceive, is only 0.001% of all of creation. Time and space, energy, is like 99.99%. Energy is the most powerful, right? Thoughts are energy. So if you continue to infuse energy with more focus, with more attention, that is going to give you power, right? It's going to give you power behind your thoughts. So to simplify that, how do I put power behind my thoughts? Well, to extend sort of what The Secret did, basically, you want to supplement your thoughts with ample enough conviction. And when I say conviction, it's a decision, it's a determination in knowing that what you're believing to come to pass is true, and it's true within you. And it's not true based on anything other than your knowing within yourself. Now, that's faith. That's true faith, right? So if we have enough power, this is why a lot of times you see fearful stuff come quicker than stuff that is of a good nature, because we infuse certain thoughts with so much fear that they actually wind up happening, right? They actually come to pass because within that energy is so much focus, so much attention on that fearful thing unfolding that it explodes right onto the scene. But just think, if we took that energy and you infuse that energy with being a successful entrepreneur, what if you took that energy with being in the best shape of your life? You took that energy and really, really infused it with all your attention, right? With all, like, I don't want to say positive, but emotion that is similar to the nature of the thought that you're attempting to manifest. Just imagine if you did that, right? And there's a process to doing that. So the first thing you do is you center yourself, right? And you center yourself by just getting quiet and going through a meditation, right? Meditation. And it's not even to get anything, but it's connecting to the divine mind, connecting to the God in you. And you do that for a few minutes. You can go 5, 10. Sometimes it helps to even go for about 20 or 30 and then take that thought form and set it in place and infuse it, right? So you do your meditation and you get quiet, you get silent, you get undisturbed, and then you begin to picture that thought in your mind, right? Once you have that thought, if it's powerful enough, and this is how you know if it's something that can manifest for you, if it's powerful enough in the space of it creates a strong, vibrant emotion within you, then you're on point, right? You got everything you need to make it a reality. If it doesn't create any type of emotion within you, then it's not going to do anything. It has no wheels, right? You want to hold the thoughts in your consciousness that have the power to get up and take off, like a race car. And so the only thing that drives that is a firm emotion with conviction and a decision. There's power in decision. And so you have to make sure that that's behind it. And then once you get that emotion behind it, you hold it there for a few more minutes, right? Until you feel this sense of peace. And then once you feel that sense of peace, you let it go. And then the universe takes over from there, right? So a lot of times we want certain things to happen in our lives and we mess up because we go straight to the limited mind in thinking that we can manifest this without following that protocol I just gave to you, right? We try to just go out and do it ourselves. But once again, keep in mind, physical matter is only 0.0001%, right? It's not that powerful. It's the energy, right? That's almost 100% everything. That energy that matters the most, that you got to put behind those thoughts. All right. So in realizing that, instead of wasting time and energy going out, trying to do everything physical, go within yourself. Get silent, get quiet, undisturbed, find out what it is that you want, envision it. And the best way to invoke emotion is to see yourself either as that thing or having that thing without any doubt possible. And just hold on to that, right? Hold on to that for as long as you can, and then let it go. And don't think about it until you come back the next day and you decide that you want to do it, the same type of visualization, thought, manifestation process. But after you've done that, you've done the work. So now it's just allowing the universe to do its part, which it does all the heavy lifting. All you got to do is just hold the picture in place and express enough conviction behind it. That's all it is. Any thought you want to manifest, Hold enough emotion and conviction behind it, and I promise you, eventually it will come to pass. And if it's not coming to pass, that means that you have to release something. You're holding on to something that won't allow that to come into play, right? So with that being said, all you have to do is follow that protocol, and you will discover that your thoughts are becoming things. Your thoughts are manifesting in your life in the way that you choose to. All righty. With that being said, guys, that wraps up today's message. So if you have any questions, any prayer requests, write to us at ShaunG04@gmail.com. We will get to it as soon as we can, helping you in any possible capacity that we can, because that's what counts at Heart of Christ Ministry, being able to help the people rise up to a higher level in every aspect of life, not just in some, but in every aspect of life. So shoot me a holler at ShaunG04@gmail.com if you have any prayer requests or any questions about anything. All right. We'll talk soon with that. I'll talk to you soon if you decide to take that route. And then last but not least, donations. Yes. Donate. Once again, if you feel it in your heart, if you feel like this information, this wisdom has benefited you in a loving capacity, it has helped you to understand life in a greater way, by all means, donate today. Every bit helps, every bit counts. So don't feel like, well, I don't have too much to give. No, any amount you can give, as long as it's from your heart, matters. And that's all to it. Okay. So if you decide to go that route, which I thank you for your kindness in advance, is greatly appreciated. Go to Venmo, Heart of Christ Ministry, PayPal, ShaunG04@gmail.com, and then Apple Pay. We can work that out too as well if you don't have Venmo or PayPal. Just know that, whatever seed you sow into this, it's going to come back into your life, and love expands, and these are just love gifts, because you're exchanging the love that has been offered, and it's able to grow within your life. So I promise you, your seed will not go to waste under any circumstances whatsoever. So once again, thank you for your kindness. We appreciate you. And that about wraps it up for today's message. Guys, have a wonderful day ahead. Remember, thoughts, stay on those thoughts. Don't infuse any thoughts you don't want to unfold in your life with any type of emotion or conviction, because those suckers will show up quickly. Remember, only good stuff, right? Only stuff that resonates with your heart. Allow that to come alive and open it up. Allow itself to open up into your life. And you'll be thrilled by what you see unfold when you really understand the power of thought within your divine mind. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.